Guess what time it is?
Woo, woo.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Podcast night.
Oh shit, we peaked a little bit. Sorry. Goddamn. Folks, welcome back to the Producer Lounge,
Yeah.
your weekly music production broadcast.
Today we have special guest, Casper the Ghost.
Hey, Casper.
He's a good buddy of ours.
If you can tap into the ethereal plane, you'll be able to get his subs in.
Yeah.
But if not, just kind of imagine.
Just
it'll
align
be
your
fine.
chakras, open your third eye, and you'll be able to see him.
Right. I mean, you gotta, it's kind of a
you
life's
gotta
work,
align the
but-
chakras. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
You
Or
gotta.
Eat mushrooms now, and then maybe by the end of the podcast, you'll start picking up on them. Maybe, if you're lucky. Folks, love to see ya. We're going to start this episode with a wonderful quote. You could call it Quote of the Week if you want.
Oh, wow.
But it rings true in all walks of life, including, but not limited to, military, hospital, caregiving,
Excess drug use.
excess drug use,
Cooking?
gambling, cooking. That's a good one. It really, woodworking.
Skateboarding.
So the quote is, side quests give more XP.
That's right.
So just take that for what it is.
Side quests give more XP.
That's right.
Yep. Just chew on that,
Yeah.
everybody.
Just chew on that.
Just give it a nice chew. Taste it, lick it.
If you need a little example, look at Shaq. Look at what Shaq's doing. Doing nothing but side quests.
I feel like I got to put my hands on the desk to make it
Yeah,
feel
well,
more.
Shaq already did the main quest a long time ago, so
Yeah.
all he has left is side quests, you know?
I feel like he 100%ed.
He is in Endgame. That is true. He is in full blown. It's like, I already beat the main quest. I don't have to do shit now. I can just go back and side quest my life away.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, he's making them up.
Yeah. I mean, but good luck being as lucky as Shaq. Like, good luck having those genes and everything that happened happen. You know?
Not only having all that luck, but then the absurd amount of dedication into just shooting a ball into a hoop, getting so fucking good at that you're world renowned.
Except threes. But
Except
There's no way I'd fit in those jeans.
no. True. Shout out Funky Baby in chat with
Oh,
the
Funky
dog
Baby.
emoji. Folks, we're going to get this episode started right. Okay?
Do we even tell them what the podcast is about yet?
Yeah, it's your weekly music production broadcast. That's what it is.
I can't remember.
That's what it is, folks.
Yeah.
Welcome back to your weekly music production broadcast with
Weekly
us.
music
Always branded.
production podcast. Anyway, sorry.
If you're new here, hit the follow, sub, and all that buttons.
Ding, 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 ding notifications.
Really helps.
You know?
And reviews are tight. And
Reviews are
mandatory.
pretty tight,
If
dude.
you don't give them,
Dude.
might hunt you down. I don't know.
Yeah, do a blog post, honestly.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah.
And I should silence my phone. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry.
Tell your mom about the podcast. Tell your
Shout out.
dad. Tell your grandma.
Shout out my girlfriend Dallas.
Oh, Dally Wiggles.
So getting the podcast started off here, or the broadcast, or whatever.
Yeah, go for
Game
it.
show.
When do you guys determine when you're going to soft clip or hard clip? Are you just looking for making it hit the clipper so it doesn't distort too hard, depending, or are you trying to use it to keep dynamics in a certain way? I'm saying these things because this is kind of how I toy with them.
My answer is probably going to be bad, but I will hard clip unless I hear it,
Nice.
and then I'll soft clip.
Nice. Okay. That's a fair rule of thumb, I would say.
Yeah. I'm kind of in a similar boat where I've been using M-Wave Shaper a lot.
Let's go.
Shout out Melda. If you guys don't have that shit, go get that shit. It's amazing.
Free.
And it's free. Yep. Yeah, I will basically strictly hard clip unless it seems a little
Right,
too
just-
aggressive. Yeah.
Which algorithm are you using on that?
Whatever the default is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You should fucking...
I know.
You think default's good, head over to Cubic, and then it's fucking that real fucking...
It's wily over
That'll
there.
real haircut shit, dude. Basically, if I'm using M Wave Shaper, I'm using Cubic almost exclusively because normally, like when you're looking at it and you see it and you see the volume like come in on the default, I think it's linear. The audio has to go past your kind of hard cut for it to start to clip. When it's on Cubic, it doesn't even have to touch your shelf at all. You can kind of just set your shelf wherever you want, and then just watch another visual thing to see when it starts to clip, and you can kind of just start pushing it until you start to hear it.
That's interesting.
Distort and then back it down, and you'll look and it's still fucking just a haircut. It's the shit. Although
got scalped.
Throw an EQ after that and low pass the highs, just like all the way up at 20K, but just to make sure that because I don't know what
the oversampling situation is.
What the oversampling situation is on M Wave Shaper. So I just throw that on to just kind of reduce any issues. What's up, Chain Gang?
Can you speak on oversampling a little bit more? I still feel like I don't fully understand
Go
that.
watch the Dan Worrall video.
I mean, number one, watch the Dan Worrall video because it will make you understand it.
Yes.
D-swirly over there. Fucking drop that
Essentially,
knowledge.
it's like it's a situation where there's only so many frequencies that you're saturating up to. So as you saturate, it makes harmonics, right? Well, it gets to the top. I don't know. I can't remember the exact way, and maybe you can help me, but it gets up to the top, and then it starts bouncing back, and the harmonics that you get on the way back are not in, like, the right harmonic phase
with everything else. So you're, like,
with
getting
the shit that it's giving.
Harmonics coming back down,
I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, aliasing, sir.
So when you crank it...
aliasiness.
What?
Yeah.
You watch the Dan Worrall video, he fucking shows, like...
Yeah.
Here's what you're looking at, and then
that's fascinating,
folks. I'll try and put that video, a link to that, in the description because that's what's up.
Yeah,
as the kids say these days.
That hurts my brain.
It's a little weird once, but he kind of shows with other various visual forms, shows you like what's happening, and then what happens when you oversample, and it like reduces it exponentially.
Insane.
But you can also low pass to kind of help reduce a little bit.
Oh, okay. So you're not like saturating the 22,000 harmonics, so it's just fucking instantly going back.
Yeah. When I am clipping a hi-hat, I'm clipping, fucking 4K to 12K, and that is distorting that 4K to 12K. So it is sending harmonic phases up past 20K, and they're coming back down because that's what happens. They like return. I think it's due to the digital, right? It's due to something.
I don't remember the exact
format.
thing because I wish I could explain this better. But
same.
Yeah,
all you have to do is know it, everybody, because it will help you every time. If you can oversample, you should be oversampling, and if you go and pay attention to it, it will help. Have a very clear understanding of what's happening.
Interesting.
But,
at least on your renders, like while you're working, you don't necessarily have to have oversampling on. It is CPU intensive. But when you go to start printing it for the last final times, you're trying to get it ready for release, or you really want to hear how it sounds, then you should go through and oversample everything that you can.
Interesting.
Which is, don't hit play after that while you're in the DAW, because your computer is just going to just die. And it takes a while to print, but there's definitely a difference.
Oh,
definitely.
Oh, yeah. Big difference.
It's kind of retarded.
When you do it across, 20 tracks, 40 tracks, that adds up. Yeah, all those little extra shitty harmonics add up. On one sound, you can't really hear it very well.
Right.
On 15 sounds, you will hear the difference.
Interesting. There's also oversampling on EQs, right?
Yep. I mean, there's
Some
oversampling on
bands.
as much as you can. On FabFilter Saturn, there's an HQ mode, high quality.
Saturator.
Yeah, I just turned that on anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. Oversampling on an EQ is not a normal thing for the most part.
I think in Ableton, what is it in Ableton? Isn't you right click on it and there's
On EQ8 in Ableton, yeah.
Does
If you
it-
right
is
click,
it high
pulls up
quality
a-
or is it oversampling? What does
I
it
think
call
it says oversampling on
Hmm.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, I can't remember.
yeah.
pretty sure, and
we
never
could
do
pull
it.
it
But
up and find out, but
Yeah,
I think
we'll
Overdrive
investigate.
might have it, or not Overdrive. Saturator.
On in
Saturator.
Ableton?
In
Yeah.
Ableton, that one might have it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a ton of them.
I don't know if it does. It might. I never right click plugins. I always forget that that's even a thing you can do. Pull up random little windows.
For sure.
Wow, you
Right.
still have Ableton.
Of course.
Oh.
Own it, baby.
I use
Oh.
Ableton fairly often. EQ8. Yep.
Yeah, right at the bottom.
Oversampling. And of course, is there no? It doesn't give any kind of instruction.
what-
the little
what it
help window.
does,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't tell you exactly
Interesting.
what's happening.
There is an oversampling on the EQ on Ableton.
Yeah.
I guess. I
yeah.
mean, if it distorts on it on the way out, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
If you like are slamming the gain.
slamming the game.
Who knew there was EQ distortion
I mean-
on EQ8?
All right.
Yeah. That's interesting.
You could jam a sine wave into there and smash it and see if it...
Yeah, that's true.
A little utility afterwards to turn it down or whatever.
Also, check if the saturator has an oversampling.
Okay.
Ooh,
We
nice
will.
skin.
Thanks, bro.
Is that the jade or emerald?
I don't know. One of those.
One of those.
Oh, it's so much harder to add things in Ableton. It's so annoying.
Dude, utility's gotta have oversampling, right? It's gotta. Everything oversampling.
Should throw another EQ after it to see if it shows extra harmonics.
We'll just try with it off. I mean, it's... I guess we can do one of these.
It's clipping like the master or something right now.
Yeah. I mean, how do we get it to clip just it? We don't have the right spectra gramminess to really fucking visually see what's happening.
Spectrogram.
I
Shout
mean,
out
the
Lotus.
EQ would show you afterwards.
I mean, but we'd have to distort this.
we should hear like. I mean, it sounds like it's distorting. It must be distorting after the fact.
Yeah, it's
though.
distorting the master, I think.
Do we need like a saw, something with more harmonic content?
I don't
No, the
think so.
point of a sign would be that
There is no harmonics afterwards.
it
so
would
if
So you
show
can
you
see-
very
Right,
easily.
okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What if you just duplicate the EQ like 2 more times?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the oversampling is doing here
Right?
on
Yeah,
the
I
EQ.
don't know either. Let's pull up the...
It's a professional show, everybody.
Professional podcast.
Folks,
We know all the things.
yeah.
Come on.
We
We're-
basically
we're
know
here with
everything
you.
about
We're just
production.
pulling your
So.
leg here.
No, it's got high quality on the
Oh.
saturator. Yeah.
Oh.
Which is probably some form of
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder what that.
oversampling.
Oh, right.
Because if you go to Saturn...
Saturn has a high quality button too, huh? HQ.
Uh-huh.
I like never use Saturn.
It's nice.
I gotta play with it more.
Right there. HQ.
If you do use it, make sure you hit that
Yeah,
HQ
just-
button because it
it's-
will make a massive difference.
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
not too CPU intensive. Hey, look, they give an actual...
Oh,
What do they say?
who
The
knew?
HQ high quality button controls oversampling
Yeah.
of the internal distortion algorithms.
London.
Distortion processing introduces digital aliasing effects, especially when applying a lot of drive.
Bomba clap.
Enabling HQ mode will drastically reduce aliasing artifacts by oversampling the internal saturation section 8 times. Oh, it's an 8 times oversampling.
8 times?
Yeah. At the cost of using more CPU power. I'm trying my best to do a Dan Worrall, but he has such a unique cadence.
Manchester.
Fucking
Bristol.
John was showing me a plugin. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's a Melda. I think it's Melda Sound Factory or Sound something, and it has a times 2096 oversampling in it.
2096.
Just like an absurd amount, or whatever, like that.
Sick.
Fucking multiplied would be.
Let's go.
Yeah. It's just more than you would. He has like a sick computer, right? And he put it on that setting, and it like crashed Ableton instantly.
Sick. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, it's because it's Ableton.
Yeah, right. He could probably do it in Bitwig.
Yeah, it would work fine in Bitwig. I'm sure.
Elitist over here.
Or in Cubase. I like that laugh. That laugh was...
Thank you.
That laugh was quality.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Special guest Chad Broman over here.
Chad Berman.
When are you to bring us back, Caleb? When are you using hard versus soft clipping?
Kind of a mix of I'll go for hard clipping first, and then I'm looking not only for distortion, but if it doesn't distort, does it also kill the dynamics of whatever it's distorting or clipping? Like even if it's a hi-hat, I want to make sure it still has kind of the emotion of the kind of the initial transient with the fucking body, and like I want to make sure I don't kill everything. Like I do want to clip, but I want to keep a little bit so I have room to maybe clip later.
That's
or
fair.
Like whatever, because I'm trying to
hard clipping will like do a little bit more enunciating of the transient, basically. Via harmonics.
Up to a point, yeah. If you go too full hard clipping or too full even soft clipping, it's just too much clipping. It just
yeah
the
for
whole
sure.
thing.
For
but
sure.
yeah,
but just chopping the top off of it, you're gonna get like extra harmonics from the transient because the transient's going into it by whatever.
But it's
2 or 3 or 5 dB more than everything else.
Yeah, there's like a very fine line where it can like enunciate it and then it can smear it.
Right.
Which is also can be used effectively if you have a hi-hat that's really pokey and you need it to just fucking calm down and sit in the background. You can just smear that fucking transient right off and you're fucking good to go.
That's a good point.
Yeah, which works
Look at that.
really well.
It's kind of what we were talking about with you can use that instead of soothe sometimes. Because soothe can be kind of weird.
I mean, you can just saturate in any form, basically.
Any form.
Saturate and clip.
You're just trying to
soothe.
flatten the signal, basically. Trying to get the frequency response to even out, and I just think, I don't know, soothe sketches me out.
Does it?
Yeah, it's like taking a shovel when you need a spade, and it's like, I don't know. I don't want to be taking fucking giant holes out of this. Or I guess a shovel when you need a rake is more of a better...
There you go.
A chainsaw when you need a scalpel.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Brain
saturator-
surgeon with a chainsaw.
The
Doing brain
Saturation.
surgery with the chainsaw.
yeah, hilarious. How you feeling? I'm good, Doc.
Good talk.
Don't worry.
His left eye is just like completely looking the other way.
Yeah.
Just like, no, I feel fine.
All right, hand me the multi-tool.
It's got like a flamethrower on it.
I gotta use this toothpick first.
Yeah. Got a little bit in my teeth.
A little brain in my
But
teeth.
yeah, saturator just is like saturation in small amounts throughout the whole track, I think, is a better approach at getting it to be like less harsh and more full at the same time.
Small amounts of saturation at every level.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes at multiple times on certain levels.
Sure. That's how I mainly use Saturn. I don't use it for like full blown distortion things. It's usually at like 20%.
Yeah.
It's like not doing a lot. It's just warming things up, and I like using it at random because it's got a different flavor than other saturators I use. So I'm just like, oh, let's put Saturn on this.
Right.
Just a different color, basically.
I saw Cohen Sound doing this thing, which was kind of interesting. Instead of just boosting the drive of your saturator, they'll take a utility and turn down the volume and then play with that into the saturator.
Oh, sure.
And I was thinking, like, how different is that than the drive?
Well,
what is even drive?
Drive is taking the signal that's already read by the distortion unit.
It's already just at the top, and
well,
you're just cranking it more when you drive it?
It's just wherever it is. Like the input, it just tells you what the input is, and then the drive takes that input and saturates saturates from there as if that is 0.
Okay.
So if you increase the input, 0 changes, and you have more headroom up now, technically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or down technically. So the input is kind of a fun one to work with. I used to work with the input of saturators a lot more after I watched this Bunchin class where he's like, dude, the input is the sauce.
Nice.
Yeah, he would automate the input on a bunch of distortion units at once in a chain kind of thing.
Oh,
and
interesting.
It was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should focus on understanding how hot you're bringing things in to any given plugin.
Right.
Some plugins, this is a classic thing people love to talk about. But basically, some plugins will start to fuck with shit at like, let's say, -6 dB.
Right.
Harmonically. So, yeah, when you're throwing sounds into whatever given plugin you're doing, think about how loud it is before it hits that thing, because it will make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been noticing anything interesting when you're fucking with it, or have you not really fucked with it too hard?
I have been playing with it. It does feel different, but I don't really know why. But it's just a fun change of pace of like my workflow, just thinking differently about distortion. That makes perfect sense now, though, thinking about how like the drive is just already like the 0 point, so you're just cranking it into the clip a little bit more.
It'll still technically distort at whatever the relative level that it distorts is at, but you just have more headroom.
Yeah.
In the unit.
Dude,
to, like,
also
distort, I guess.
It's almost like kind of resolution.
Right.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I can
if
see
it's
that.
quieter and you're pushing in, like, I don't know, maybe not. Whatever.
Yeah.
I give up on that analogy.
Also, the reason I brought up Cohen Sound is those motherfuckers are not minimal with their distortion use. It's so insane. I was watching one of their Patreon videos, and they'll you guys were talking about you saturate multiple times to get a different kind of effect. They'll throw like an EQ on, EQ something, then saturate it, distort it more, then do like some multiband processing, distort it more, and like it was like 14 fucking saturators after they flattened and then resampled and then did the whole thing again.
It's basically like anytime you make a change to the sound, do a little saturation after that.
Right.
You know, and probably do some EQ before that saturator.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it as the golden rule of improv, and then, you know.
Oh, the yes and.
Right. It's distort after. You know, just distort after. I just made this. Distort after. Yeah. Not like you're not driving it like
unless you want to.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Also, another fun thing is to drive a little bit past where you're comfortable with, and then reducing the wet dry. That will give you a whole different set of harmonics to work with. Also, because now you have like this more driven sound, but now it's pushed back behind it, and
it's probably doing a little bit of phasing.
Right, it has like a different glue effect. So that's also a fun thing to do.
Right.
True.
But yeah,
true that.
Distortion's the shit, dude. Distortion's fucking tight.
Distortion gang.
It's basically like your analog, everything is analog. If you just distort
Afterwards,
after
right.
whatever the thing you do is, it gives it more of an analog feel.
Mm-hmm.
Because every single piece of analog
Right,
gear
it'll get
just
that warm.
colors
Right.
the sound.
Which is why you'll kind of get there too just by clipping everything at some point, because you're gonna kind of, I mean, as long as you're not doing the lightest clipping ever, you're gonna be distorting along that way through that process.
Right.
So, which is good. People have come accustomed to a warm, distorted sound, like since the dawn of music recording. So
Sounds right.
it sounds about right. If it's too pokey and fucking quiet, it's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
You kind of have to artificially bloat the bitch.
I know. Isn't that a weird concept
Yeah,
to like
it's
wrap your
weird.
brain around? Like, especially like when you're first learning to produce, like that was a weird one, is the louder is better or like the flatter is better kind of concept.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because it does hurt to just listen to something with the appropriate amount of high end over and over and over again.
Over and
Yeah.
over.
Your brain does not like that.
No.
Dude, that's why I can't imagine like all these rhythm guys, like their ears must just be barely holding up, you know?
Yeah.
They're just in the
I mean,
studio fucking
there's
cranking
tricks.
that shit.
Right. There's tricks like throwing a big all fucking like
Shelf.
shelf. Yeah. Or whatever, like that you turn off before you print kind of thing, like on the master. That's just like keeping the highs like nice and tame. So
Yeah.
so that you can kind of work, and then once you get to like mix mode, maybe you turn that off and check and turn it back on and just look at visual things, turn it on and check, whatever. That kind of stuff. Oh, look who's in the chat.
Yeah, we're
We
getting a
got
novel.
Restraint Music.
Restaurante.
What does he say over here? Found a new way to handle overly pokey high-end transients.
Wow.
We're listening. Folks, let's dive deeper. If you can find a way to do transient splitting, then you can compress, EQ, clip, or even just volume down the transients alone.
Yeah.
Works great for really spiky hi-hats you don't want to gain up too much more. Yeah, that is a really good idea.
Bristol.
Bristol.
Yeah, that's why I like soft clipping a lot of times, is it can kind of like, if it's really pokey and then it kind of comes out, it can kind of bring the poke down and the body up a little bit, and it can kind of do the same thing compression's doing, but give you a little bit more fucking, ball sack.
Yeah.
But this, in our new age of 2023, if you can fucking transient split, then yeah, just turn that sucker down. And then you keep
Totally.
all the
Totally.
the dynamics of it, and you can distort elsewhere.
Yeah.
You could you could distort after.
Absolutely. Oh.
Oh shit!
I had a very pokey kind of a sound in a song I've been mixing recently, and I did a version of that. I used the spectral transient splitter in
sick.
Bitwig, and I just distorted the fuck out of the transient part and turned it down,
Sick.
and it worked pretty good.
Hell yeah!
I think I also did a little bit of transient shaping to just take that off more. So a little bit of attack adjustment. But the two together seem to kind of make it do what I wanted it to.
Was that with Bitwig's transient control?
Yeah, it was.
Fuck yeah, dude! I love that transient plugin. That's my favorite one.
It's great. Yeah.
It's so good.
Works good.
It has so much more info than other ones. It actually gives me like release times, which is
Oh, that's kind of cool.
True.
so
Compared to like
nice.
KHS.
Yeah, that's just like slower, fast. Although it might have numbers on it. Now that I'm thinking about
It
it,
probably tells you.
but the
they're
problem
pretty
with
good about
KHS, even though I have it bought for some reason. Like, if I don't open a project for like a month and come back, all the KHS plugins besides Phase Plant are like deactivated and you can't find them.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
I've had that with the Convolver a bunch.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know what the fuck it
Where
is.
I'm like,
Drives
shit.
me nuts.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll just make a new one. I did it on the fly the last time. Whatever.
Right.
I mean, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
There's that part, but it's like I don't want to do that over and over again. That's why you print.
Right.
Everybody?
Right. So that way you don't have to worry
Unless
about
you're a goddamn nerd and you want to figure all that shit out. I don't.
it. Yeah, if you figure it out, let me know. Or Kilohearts, if you want to sponsor us, start with that.
Yeah. I'll have to remind you, John, I would like to understand your Shaper Box transient splitter.
Oh, he has one?
Yeah, he's got a Shaper Box version, and I'm curious about that.
Like he made it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. Interesting.
That's cool.
Did he use...
He apparently is doing some transient shaping with Shaper Box.
I can try to build a Bitwig rack for you.
Hey.
I wouldn't
say no more, John.
Yeah. We do have Shaper Box 3, so...
I'm down to make it even.
Yeah,
I just
describe it.
I don't remember how you were going about it, but
And you don't have to describe
we can
it here.
talk later.
Yeah. Challenge.
I'm sure we
accepted,
will.
he says.
Challenge accepted.
Sick. I've been doing a bunch of mixing. I've been talking about it on the podcast for a couple weeks now, maybe. Oh yeah, 3 weeks ago we weren't. Anyway, whatever. I talked about it last week. So what I did this week is I was playing with the mid-side part of my mixes. And I did this on every track. I'm not saying this is a great idea, everybody. This is just what I did on every track that I've been working on. But I put a mid-side splitter on my master bus and pretty early on in the chain, and I did some taking out of the low end, linear phase, obviously. Taking out, and then I did a slow roll off on the high end because you know how we love the fucking Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And then I was also ducking out 4K, just basically
On the
sides.
Yeah.
Just
Oh.
doing a dynamic fucking 4K
Right. Just a little bobber.
pull. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because it's like if that's a frequency that we find not useful a lot of the time, just get it out of the sides. Who cares?
Right.
Don't need it in the sides. And then after I do all of that, take a little compression and just hard compression. Compress it by like 3 decibels or something like that. And then just pull the volume up.
This is just on the sides.
Just on the sides. Yep.
Like a 10 to 1 or like 100 to 1 compression?
I think my shit's on infinite.
Let's go. Love to hear it. On like what mode?
Mastering.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And just basic idea, get everything fucking out of the way. And like make the sides louder, but not have them be like prickly sides. Like,
Right.
It's different than like your left and right, obviously.
Right.
Right.
It's like the really
a left and a right will give you a mono signal, I guess. Well, it's the difference between the two speakers. Are we going to get on the sides?
Yeah.
By panning?
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. I'm not trying to have pricklies on my sides, so that's what I did.
Sure.
Makes sense.
And it's kind of nice.
Right. No, that's
it's an experiment.
Yeah, you could even localize it too. You could move that back onto like just your pre-master, and then if you have like, so that way like just your or like for me, just my drums and bass are on the pre-master. So anything wide there wouldn't be really prickly. But then if like there was a chord stab that was really wide, that could still have some fucking enunciation or whatever. You could use it to create contrast. Which would be fun. That's a cool idea. I mean, I especially like the compression part of it because it just like makes it really. If it hits really wide, it's gonna be fucking like in a sweet zone.
Yeah, it's gonna be quieter. It's gonna be thicker, but still not like too loud or anything like that.
Right.
Because I'm just bringing it up. I bring the volume up by the amount that I do the gain reduction.
Sure.
Essentially. So it is technically going to be a little bit more full and loud in the sides, but it won't be louder necessarily than the way I fucking built the thing from scratch. You could bust out a John technique and put a sidechain that does a really, really quick little like transient shape on the sides as well.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Damn, we had a phase with that.
Yeah. I didn't do that.
Oh.
I didn't do it.
I had a phase with that.
I have done it plenty of times. But
Yeah, I fucked with like a couple different ideas in that universe.
Yeah.
Like sending things mono or wide when other random things hit. Like if I had a stab in the middle, a wave stab, and I had chords happening, the chords would go wide when the stab happened.
Good move.
Didn't always work, but things like that.
It's a trick.
Yeah, it's a
trick that's in your bag. You can use
exactly.
it.
Exactly.
Fuck with it. I mean, if it works, it will be the coolest shit. Right. For us, these kind of people. Everybody else will be like, "It sounds so good and clear."
Yeah,
like, sure.
Where they just won't even like notice it.
You don't know that I was fucking side chaining my sides to go wide whenever the snare hit. You don't know that.
Yeah.
Never will.
Never will.
Yeah, you will never be able to comprehend that, bitch.
Nope. But that's okay. You do other things.
Yeah, you're not listening to this podcast.
Nope.
We know that.
That's true. But you know who he is? The heads. The heads are out there.
The future dawns.
The heads.
That's right.
Future Dawns.
Future
Dawn
Dawns.
is a pretty good
Future Dawn
project name. Future Dawn. You guys can steal that.
Yeah, that's your guys. That's for you guys.
Unless one of us makes it first, then.
That's true.
Fuck off.
and the race begins. Let's go.
Future Dawn. That's a hard one to make.
Future Dawn.
Yeah. Concept.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
You gotta represent if you're claiming the name Future Dawn.
Right. Speaking of future.
Oh, I like where this is going already.
Oh shit, folks! We're about to theorize the future.
Oh, getting philosophical over here, dude. Subdrop philosophy.
I forgot what I was going to say, actually.
Oh, nice.
I had a thing, and it was like from earlier today, and now it's gone again. It was really faint. I was trying to grab onto it.
Yeah, it'll come back. That actually sparked subdrop philosophy is one of my favorite things of all time. I don't know why, but if anyone, which no one has, but if you have listened to my music.
Ring mods.
Ring mods on your subdrop?
So you know that subdrop I did that had the volume shaping? It's like...
Yeah, I was just getting to something like that.
You can do the same thing with a ring mod.
With a ring mod.
Like a slow ring mod. You can use it, and then as it pitches up, it turns into a tone, and then you can use that tone to do other things in the build-up. So it can go from a subdrop into a synth kind of thing.
Right?
Yeah.
Dude, there's so much magic that you can just play with, like with simple concepts like that.
Magic.
The frequency shifter at like 50%.
That's the wrong one. Excuse me, folks.
Magic.
I'm sorry.
Fuck magic, dude.
They love me still.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I'm so fascinated with these things, but it's so much fun just diving deeper into like, in what ways can you make just a sine wave pitching down be more interesting?
Now, can you...
And it's crazy how much you can do.
How often do you just use an 808?
Yes and no. I use like a dedicated sub for like almost every track, but it's not like an 808. I mean, but it is because it's just a sub, and I manually pitch it and like have all the sub stuff.
Is basically an 808.
It's basically an 808,
it's
right?
It's kind of long and
very long. But like pulling an 808 sample in,
right, just going boom, boom, 8. Yeah, no, that's dumb. I agree. But distorting your sub drops like an 808, now that's a different story.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Yeah. Or automating it.
Sounds like fun.
Automating it so when you start higher, there's less distortion, and as you get into the low boys, you add more distortion.
That's
so
a
it
good
just
idea.
I love that.
even more. Yeah.
And it goes from like wide to like standard.
Oh, there you go.
Too.
There you go.
That would be fun. You could use some Haas in Bitway. We have this great little thing called Blur, which is the fucking sauce.
Blur, huh?
Yeah.
I haven't used that in a minute,
Dude.
actually. That used to be my go-to.
Just the stock on it is so good. You're like, oh, width. Okay. Put it at 10%. Boom. Good. Thank God. Now it lives in the whole at least like the central area as opposed just this line, you know, like. But anyways.
Yeah. A little bit of width is really nice in a mixing session on like a group of tracks, like a chorus or a blur or something like.
To glue.
I like something like that on like my tops, even on my drums. Just a little bit of like a chorusy something, just doing a really background width addition can be very nice. Or leads, perhaps. You know, it's like a touchy thing because with all of these things, I'm fairly precise with where I'm putting them in the spectrum, but a little bit doesn't really change the feeling of whether it's like super center or super wide.
Right.
It just adds a little bit of a glue of sorts to it. It's kind of like a saturation almost.
Yeah, I can see that.
But in a wide way.
I've been really hyped on the Melda multiband chorus. It's really fun.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Dude, it's really interesting. Yeah. Even just like going through the presets just to get like a quick idea of like something you want to play around with. Just multiband anything is so fascinating.
Multiband.
Yeah, and that's why I like
it's so good.
Saturn 2 every once in a while because it is multiband. So you get that option to be like, oh, let me just kind of fuck around with this real quick. Plus, each band has like tonality, which is nice. Like it just like has it. You can't automate it, but that's okay. You can't automate. What's that other multiband distortion thing?
Because it like when you change like bands and whatnot.
Exact same thing as Trash 2.
Yeah.
Which is trash. Hurry up with Trash 3, guys. Trash 2 is so trash.
It's
so bad. Hurry the fuck up. Like it worked in 2008 and now it's guys.
Just change the name.
No.
New name, rubbish.
Yeah.
Sure. But fix
rubbish
stuff. Folks, it's time for the lightning round.
Oh man, I only have one question.
I got 3.
You got 3?
Can you come up with one more? I'll take that as a yes. Folks, we'll give him about 30 minutes.
Give me like 30 minutes.
Break.
Bum, bum, bum. Oh. It's actually a really dumb question, but whatever. I just watched a video on it. So it's in my mind.
And we're back, folks.
And we're back.
You were so loud there.
Thank you for waiting 30 minutes on that. That's really kind of you.
Thanks for playing along with my we're on stage, but we're not mic'd
up.
Yeah.
It's all about the bits here at Always 400.
I mean, I was talking full volume that whole time. So.
Yeah, I mean, I was too. We were just, not.
Yeah.
We muted
stage.
our mics. His mic.
I like it. Folks, question number 1 coming in all the way from Scottsdale, Arizona.
Oh, Scottsdale.
Folks, if you're unfamiliar with the lightning round, it works like any other lightning round that exists in the universe.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There you go.
First question. You can also answer them in chat if you wish, folks.
No explanation necessary.
Acoustic guitar or electric guitar? This is a warm-up question. This is
just
your opinion if you were going to pick one
Very
up and
nice.
jam, acoustic or electric. What's your go-to?
I'm gonna go acoustic.
Or if you don't play, what you'd like to listen to.
Acoustic just has a little soft spot in my heart.
Okay.
From my little folky boy days.
Nice. Electric.
Electric.
I'm wearing a sword
Also
shirt.
go electric.
So kind of have to.
I'll go electric just because
You can have a really
there's
tonal
way
electric.
more going on there.
Yeah.
You can have so many different pedals, amps.
I mean, just the tone knob of your pickups and your pickup choice
Yeah.
is
Electric all
huge.
day.
Yeah.
But like a nice
No,
acoustic guitar
John.
around the
Hey,
campfire
I-
with your buddies. That's the vibe.
Flamenco is definitely a soft spot for me, so I do understand why John goes with acoustic, although it's a very specific nylon string classical guitar.
I cannot
Flamenco.
No, you
listen
don't like
to a nylon string guitar.
I fucking love it.
Fucking hate that shit.
But,
Ew.
folks, moving on. Question number 2 comes from Rhode Island.
Oh, wow.
They didn't say where. They just said Rhode Island. What is your most used
They probably don't know.
synthesizer? Yeah, they probably don't know. They probably are fat enough to be the whole state. That's a compliment, guys. There's nothing wrong with being fat.
What was the question again?
What's your most used synthesizer?
Wow.
Phase plant.
Let's go. Phase plant.
Serum.
Okay.
Serum for sure.
Yeah,
I'm getting into the face plant
John
territory,
with the
though.
serum.
And I've been coming back with Serum mainly because I can get fun presets off Splice.
Oh,
And so
right.
I'll just go on there and start like going around and be like, oh, that's a fun sound. I want to
Yeah.
see what they did there. And then I just download it and investigate, and then I make it in phase plant.
There you go. There you
John
go.
just sent the fucking Shaper Box preset.
Hey,
For a Bitwig.
shout out. Folks, if you work in Bitwig and you want that preset, let us know on the Discord, and we'll give it to you.
Yeah. For all we know, it might already be there.
It is ! Discord in the chat.
Oh, no,
Discordia.
it's here.
From the land of discourse.
We could share it if we want
I'll
to.
do it for you.
Good job.
Folks,
Thank you, John. You're a
next
legend.
question comes in from me
Oh, wow.
here in Greendale, Colorado.
Mm.
What is your most used effect?
Oh, that's interesting.
And it's, that's broad, but it's supposed to be broad. Like, what do you think you use more often than anything? I mean, there's a couple that are pretty obvious. Like, is it EQ, saturation, compression, limiting, clipping? Like, I'm not using Mishby that much.
Yeah.
Even though I like it, but it's not my most used.
I'd say probably, distortion, saturation. That's on all the things.
Mm-hmm.
Delay would probably
It's-
be second.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I use a lot of delays. Yeah.
Yeah, it's somewhere between EQs and saturators.
Is EQ, I don't think that counts as an effect. Does it?
I mean, I'm counting it. It's not a synth.
Yeah.
You're affecting the sound.
Yeah. That's true. That's a weird way to,
Yeah,
it
I
is
guess,
an
no,
effect.
you're right. You're
Kinda-
right. Yeah.
It is distortion as well.
Distortion.
Yeah.
The conversation we had
I mean, dynamic tools.
The other day.
That's you can't say dynamic tools. They're restraint. I mean, you can. I guess that's a fair answer, but
Yeah, you've been all pumped on that shit.
I didn't ask what tools you've used most. What effect specifically? But yeah, EQs, compression,
You're on it.
saturators.
Yo.
He is on the
I use
exact same
You're
tip.
on it.
I use dynamic chorus all the time, guys.
It's
Okay,
EQ
pretty
or
sick.
saturation.
Right.
It's one of the two for me.
Because I'm
Yeah.
using them both in succession all the time.
Yeah.
They're happening
Right.
at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everybody,
Yep.
just hear that,
Just hear
Just
it.
Just
hear
hear it and understand.
Absorb that.
Yeah. It's a useful bit of knowledge there.
A lot more, question mark? Wait, M dynamic multiband is like a compressor, but a lot more?
I don't know. It's very weird, he says.
M dynamic multiband.
Mm.
I mean, Melda.
Check it out, guys.
Melda's the shit.
You can do weird stuff with that
We
one.
should be sponsored by Melda at this point.
I know. I know.
Last question comes in from
Give us the bundle. That's all we ask.
the legendary Dead Mouse himself.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Shout out Joel. He sent this question in
What up,
earlier
Zimmy?
today on Twitter.
Yep.
He says, "Who is Death Pack?" Oh. Boys, who is
Weird of him
Death
to ask
Pack?
that
I
question.
know. You'd think he'd know.
Huh. Who is Death Pack?
I know this is kind
Is
of a
that like-
running rumor.
Biden and...
Oh no, it's an artist.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's an artist with like a cool mask on.
Yeah, they're popping off lately.
I feel like it's been popping up for like the last just pre-COVID. At least that's
Yeah.
when I found out about him, and I was like, "This is sick." He's making res, but not res.
Right.
It's still kind of res.
Yeah. One of his first releases was on a Rez album.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I
right?
think you're right. I know this is the running rumor and this is kind of just popular to say, but this is genuinely what I think. I 100% think they are Taylor Swift.
Damn it, right?
I believe
They
it.
have to
I
be.
believe it.
Yeah, they have to be.
That's just, I don't know. Everything adds up. You never see them both in the same room at the same time.
Yeah. I was kind of leaning more
What
towards...
what does it look like, Death Pact?
You don't see their face.
I got you.
Oh, but yeah, the mask.
I assumed that part.
Dave, you don't
What do
see
they
their
look
face, Dave.
like? I said, not can you see their face?
I was kind of leaning more towards Justin Vernon being Death Pact, but I don't know. I could also see T Swift.
This dude.
Yeah.
Just looks like that.
It's also probably, if we're actually being real about it, it's probably like 2 to 4 people or anybody who wants to be Death Pact at a moment can be.
That's why I think it's
they lend their Death
legitimately-
Pact energy to you,
That's why I legitimately think it's Zed's dead.
right?
Because sometimes they'll. I mean, I think I saw a video of it being two of them up there,
Yeah.
and so it's like, well,
Yeah.
Really?
yeah.
Mhm.
And
Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's two.
if you come out of the gate with absolute heat, it's like,
You got some experience and connections.
Yeah, the connections is really the thing.
yeah, it's like,
Like when your shit just shows up on everybody's shit.
yeah.
Like
Right.
you're already famous.
And
Yeah.
everybody's
You're
like,
already famous.
oh, Deathback's sick. Yeah, dude, he's fucking sick. You're
Brand
like,
new artist.
who is this guy? What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, shout out
Shout out.
Yeah.
Taylor.
Yeah.
We know it's you.
Taylor. Oh, what if it's Taylor and Justin Vernon? That's the duo
That'd be
that plays.
beautiful.
That'd
What
be
if it's
sick.
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh.
Everybody, thank you. Good night.
He just loses all his body mass just to play this one show here and there.
Right, and just squeeze into this leather jacket. Folks, we've reached the end of our broadcast.
Already?
Yep, we usually like to end it with these beautiful lightning rounds sent in by our viewers.
Yeah, thank you, viewers. And Dead Mouse sponsoring that lightning round.
You just skipped this question? Or is that an old question?
Oh, no, did I skip that one?
You did, but I don't mind.
Oh, my goodness, no. We got one more question, folks.
Oh, shit. Encore.
Actually,
Encore.
we got one more question, but first we have an answer from the last question. Restraint in chat says it's Joe Biden.
It's Joe Biden.
Moving on.
Joe
next
Biden
question.
and Trump back to back.
Last question sent in from Anonymous.
Oh.
I was trying to figure out how to read it. and I
The
couldn't.
Anonymous?
I can
Like the-
understand why they're anonymous with this fucking
Yeah.
bullshit question.
If you had to give up one, distortion or EQ?
Okay.
Sounds like a
Here's the
pretty
key
good
to this
question to me.
fucking question. What is distortion? Because that will
Dude.
highly determine what my answer is.
Can you believe this? He's on the producer lounge and he doesn't know about distortion.
No. In the question,
Define.
Okay, saturation.
what
I mean, I don't know. Anonymous
like
asked,
what
asked
count?
it.
What counts as a distortion?
Because you can distort
Because
the EQ.
everything is technically distortion. So
That's not true.
yeah,
Yeah, he says it right here. Can I still distort stuff without plugins that weren't meant to be used for distortion?
right.
Because you can distort with that EQ, technically.
Literally, when you EQ something, it is
Yeah.
distorted.
But I get you in terms of just the face value you have to use.
So if we're just talking
about
saturators,
The
you could
or
just
EQ.
distortion plugins, then I'm going. I'm
a good
giving
point.
up distortion, but I barely use those. I use saturators. I use clippers.
Aren't those
Those are not
distortions?
distortion.
They're not? I thought they
They,
are.
it's the same
They do
thing as
distort.
rectangle's a square, but a square is not a rectangle. Yeah, they
Okay.
do distort, but they're saturators. Distortion is
A specific,
a specific
type of plugin,
type
or
of saturation.
it's every plugin.
I'll give up EQ because I can still get EQ-like effects from other things. Oh. I'll just phase align very specific frequencies.
John's like,
EQing.
yes, yes.
Damn it. He defeated the
I
question.
will build a rack that EQs things.
Yeah, right.
Using not EQs.
But inherently, is that an EQ? Next
Ooh.
on the producer lounge.
Next time.
Yeah, it's a bad question, basically.
I mean, it's a fun question.
I think Anonymous nailed it with that question.
I mean, it was a good time.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
That question.
You know,
They did.
Anonymous is the goat of all question askers.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
is. Yep. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in on this beautiful Tuesday. As always, have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Always 400.
Go ahead and tell your mom you love her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you haven't told her in a while. She wants to hear it.
Go head over to the Discord. It's at always400.com if you don't know where to find it.
Get your mom in the Discord.
You can find all the other things there as well. Go ahead and sub and follow. And yeah, I'm done talking now. See you guys later.
Wow, later.
Damn.
Harsh.
It's fucked up, dude.
Bye.